You want to get better at English speaking, but you don't have anyone to really assist you or practice with. This is not just a problem for those who do not live in an English speaking country, but those who also live in the United States or any other English speaking country also face this issue with not being able to find native English speakers who have the patience to help them improve their English. This is super common, but not to worry. In today's video, I'm going to show you 5 easy methods that you can use to see real improvement in your English speaking skills by yourself from anywhere in the world. If you use these 5 methods to practice your speaking skills, I guarantee you that you will eventually improve your level of English speaking. Method number 1 is to speak with audio. More specifically, you're going to use the shadowing technique and you're actually going to record yourself speaking as you're doing it. If you've seen many of my other videos on this channel, you should already know what the shadowing technique is. If you're new here, the shadowing technique simply just involves repeating back what a native English speaker says in an audio clip. So simply find a short form video, listen to it, and then play it again a second time. And when you play it a second time, say the words at the same time as the native English speaker, copying their entire intonation, their rhythm, their flow, and how they communicate the message. As you're doing this, record yourself. And when you play that recording back, you will clearly see where you're making mistakes, which words and expressions you're not comfortable pronouncing, and you'll be able to give yourself feedback from there. If you're at the intermediate levels, I would say you're at a high enough level where you can give yourself feedback on your own recording of your voice. If you still don't feel comfortable grading your own level of speaking, you can always connect and get the feedback of a native English speaker online through a free language exchange platform, or you can just send me a message on Instagram at arc.english. But the point is, you can do this by yourself no matter where you are in the world. Do this exercise for 5 minutes or even less per day, and it will give you some exercise for your mouth to actually speak like a native English speaker. This leads to the second method, which is actually to track your progress as you're doing this drill. So as you're recording yourself speaking, keep all of these saved somewhere on your phone or your computer. Every month or so, you should see if you're seeing any improvement or any progress with your speaking skills. Every week or every month, at least every month, if not more frequently than that, you should be critiquing your speaking skills and taking note if you're seeing any progress, if you're sounding more articulate as you keep doing this exercise. If you do this exercise for 5 minutes per day, to give you an idea, you should see real significant results in a matter of 1 to 3 months, I would say. If you do this drill for several hours every single day, you may see progress in less than 1 month. You also don't necessarily just need to use the shadowing technique. You can also simply just ask yourself open-ended questions or interview questions and record yourself answering those questions spontaneously. No matter which method you use, just make sure that you're recording yourself speaking in English every single day and then seeing if you're actually making any progress as time goes on. And this directly corresponds to the third method, which is simulation, actually role playing real situations you might see in real life with yourself. This method is absolutely magical. This is probably the one method that made me fluent in another language. You can do this with any situation, just make sure that it's a situation that you will probably encounter in real life. For example, you can ask yourself questions that you will most likely be asked if you go out for dinner. You can ask yourself questions that you will most likely be asked if someone's giving you a job interview. You can ask yourself questions that you'll probably be asked if someone asks you for directions. You can ask yourself questions that just commonly come up in conversation. You can do this at small moments throughout the day. For example, the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning, the last thing you do before you go to bed at night, or even when you're in the shower. By doing this speaking drill and by recording yourself doing it as well, you're going to see serious progress and serious results if you can do this consistently every single day. The fourth method is to use apps for help. Now, I never recommend to anybody to completely rely on language learning apps to learn a new language because it simply will not be enough to help you actually become truly fluent in another language. With that being said, language learning apps can be a great bonus and a great complement to your English learning. It just shouldn't be the only thing that you're using. For example, if you're not sure which questions to ask yourself, you could simply ask an AI app of your choice which questions you'll most likely encounter in English conversations. You can also ask an AI app to ask you open ended questions that you can practice responding to. This is a great way to complement your learning. However, of course, you're still going to need to practice speaking out loud and answering the questions as best as you can, and recording yourself too, of course. And this brings us to the last method, which is incredibly easy, by the way, which is just talk about and describe things around you. Also, if you've received any value from the channel, be sure to like the video so it helps the YouTube algorithm know that this type of content is useful for English learners. So, talking about things around you can be very simple. For example, this is a microphone. I'm speaking into it, it captures noise. Or behind me are some musical instruments. The way that you describe the stuff around you will really depend on what your current level of English is. If you're at the intermediate or even close to the advanced levels of English, be sure to be thorough in your description of what is around you. If you're at the lower intermediate or upper beginner levels of English, then just try your best to describe what's around you as much as you can. The point of this exercise is just to get your mouth moving and just to get you in the habit of speaking spontaneously. If you're walking down the street and you see a bird, you can point out and try to describe how the bird looks and what type of bird it is as much as you can. If you're walking down the street and you see somebody who's wearing an outfit that sticks out to you, you can describe their outfit and how it makes you feel as best as you can. You just want to get into the habit of thinking in English and expressing yourself spontaneously in the English language. If you practice doing this every single day, over and over and over again, it will be incredibly natural after a few months, possibly even faster than that, depending on how often you practice every day. So, to recap, the 5 methods that you should use to practice your English speaking skills by yourself would be: number 1, speak and record yourself, ideally using the shadowing technique. Step 2, save all of the recordings of you speaking so you can actually track your progress. The third method would be role playing or just simulating a situation that you will probably encounter in real life. The fourth method is to use relevant applications to complement your English learning. And the fifth method would be to describe things around you spontaneously whenever you can. Now, if you're watching this video and all of these exercises are new to you, or you are not in the habit of doing them every single day, this is probably going to feel pretty unnatural and uncomfortable for you at first. It might even feel a little bit silly, but I am telling you that it genuinely does work. It worked for me when I needed to learn a new language, and I've seen it work countless times with other English learners. And I'm going to let you in on a secret from someone who's helped thousands of English learners throughout the years. The bar for learning English better than the average English learner is very low. In other words, if you practice exercising your mouth to speak out loud in English every day, and you just try to get a little bit better every day, you are already doing more than the average English learner. You will improve your speaking skills way faster than the overwhelming majority of English learners. Also, if you want a more detailed explanation on how you can learn English faster than literally 99% of other English learners, I created a free training that will be available soon. I will leave a link somewhere in the description or the pinned comment below if you want to check that out. Also, leave a comment on this video telling me where you're from and what your native language is. I'm very curious to know. Taking action to practice your speaking every day is the first step, but you should also know more nuances about actually fixing your accent depending on what your native language is. To learn how to do that, be sure to watch the next video on the screen.